Hello everyone, odedex here. Welcome to episode 50 of my season 2 Let's Play. I'm standing right here in my industrial craft area, charging up my gravity suit. And I've actually off screen my second quarry finished. Both of them, basically both of my supposed big quarries are finished, reached the bottom. So I've added this small quarry right here, which is only basically meant to gap the bridge, like to bridge the gap between those two quarries, because I'm gonna need them to be connected, like one giant big hole, so I can build whatever I want inside it, which is what I plan to do. So while I'm also waiting for all the water to drain, I added this. It takes quite a long time to load. Yeah, but there we go. And it's again just 3 rows of blocks, but still needs to be taken care of. Again, while waiting for everything else to drain. And every time the part of the water is not loaded, it doesn't drain properly, as you can very well see. While waiting for the water to update, I actually noticed that this looks like a giant dam, like a giant separator between this water area and this one just refused to get updated, just refused to drain. And yeah, you can see there is a lot of calculations going on, and it takes a very long time for everything to update. How is this doing? Okay, this slowly drains, but the other one refused to drain. So, anyway, since this is the 50th episode, basically the 10th episode, I'm gonna give you guys a world download file, and because of it, I don't want to start any big project and leave it hanging. So I was thinking that this episode, I probably want to start dealing with nuclear power. Now, nuclear power is something that I can start today, and not exactly finished, but unlike a giant resource collection mechanism, which I still have to wait anyway for my quarries to complete, this will be something easier to craft and to build and to work with. So let me get a little bit charged up here, and I'll be right back. Alright, I came here and I noticed that those 4 generators are still always full or close to full, which means I'm probably having some bounce back, which I'm just not aware of. So I think it will be a good idea again to add an additional generator or 2. So let me get what I need. Alright, yeah, just came here to see the bounce back. Again, very simple, very easy, just clearing up the area. So 2 tubes. And I need to go up here. 2 generators, 1 and 2, and the wire. Alright, so everything's connected for now. We'll give it some time, obviously. But I think that, yeah, 6 generators will be enough. And the moment that I start consuming a lot more in my processing unit, this unit wouldn't even be used at all, so should be fine. Alright, so I started looking into creating some nuclear reactors, and before actually creating nuclear reactors, there are 2 things. The first thing is that I'm not gonna place it anywhere near my house. I'm not going to risk any explosion taking off everything. I'm gonna place it someplace far away, and find a way to get energy from one place to another, but not directly, not having the reactor here. So what I was thinking, the second thing, is actually how can I encase my reactor in a way that even if it explodes, it wouldn't do too much damage. And there are a couple of ways to do it, but I think I'm going to try and going for the warded stones from Thaumcraft, which are specifically designed for multiplayer levels, not to break by any other players, and in addition to that, they are highly resistant to explosions. Now, I don't know what highly resistant means. I guess it's not perfectly resistant, but I would like to think that a nuclear explosion would not take it out. So let's get a bunch of those. Let's get like 2 stacks of those. I'm gonna go for, I think you can basically dye it every dye that you want. Let's go for lime green because, you know, green usually means nuclear in my mind. So I'm gonna need something green and something white to actually get some more green. That means cacti. Let's get some cacti. Alright, so I got like 8 of those. Let's just combine them with bone meal. Oh, that will be enough. More than enough even. So I'm gonna take those, some zombie brains, and I'm also going to need some these special blocks and smooth stone, which 35 should be enough. How do I create those? Right, some more smooth stone and some thamium ingots. I do have thamium downstairs, and I should be fine with the smooth stone that I have. Or actually, I think I may have more of those blocks, or no, I don't. Okay, so let's get 4 thamium ingots. Get this thing made. Right, so 8 of those. That's yeah, exactly. Yes, let's use everything. So 4 here. Alright, zombie brains and lime dye. Stack and another stack. Alright, let's see how they work just as is. If I place them down, well, their texture is relatively simple, nothing much about it, and they're not supposed to be broken. You cannot break them like this. Yep, you can't. The only way to break them is with a wand. And they break on one click, which is great. Alright, so I got my first part. Next, I'm going to actually need the reactor themselves. Let's see how do I do that. Alright, so when you build something, anything nuclear, you basically want 1 nuclear reactor and 6 additional chambers around it, so you increase the inventory size. And basically I'm going to need 9 of those reactor chambers, so that means I'm going to need a lot of dense copper plates, a lot of them. Let's just throw inside 2 stacks of those. Throw them in here, and you know what? I'm gonna create some more overclockers. Yeah, I'm using them a lot, like I'm using them really a lot, and just keep moving them, there is no point. Let's just create a bunch. Let me quickly do that off screen. Alright, so I didn't get so much. I actually wanted to create a little bit more, but yeah. So I got 14 on me right now, 10 in here, 10 in here, and let's also insert 10 here. Also get some more of those. And the extra 4 I can just place here. Make it charge a little bit faster. If you can actually look at the power, the rate which it's upgrading. I think it's a little bit faster. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. However, I think yeah, it kind of a little bit loses efficiency over time. It generates, it charges things faster, but it uses more energy to charge less energy, basically, if you can understand what I mean. Alright, so let's get back to business. So I got all of those guys. So I needed, let's see, chamber. Needed 9 of those. So 9, 30, basically 36 copper plates. Yeah, I should get some more. These will be used, no doubt. Let's get 2 more stacks converted into this thing. Actually, I had another stack on me. Okay. Okay, this is basically the 36 that I need, even more. But yeah, let's manage with that for now. And I will need a lot of machine blocks. A lot of machine blocks. Basically 9 machine blocks. Yep. Not that much, a lot, but yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright. And I can create the chambers. Okay, so 6 of those I'm going to need to keep as is. They will be used to actually create the reactor itself. I will need, I have no clue what this is, I will need this. So another generator, which I have, an advanced circuit, which I can create. I have 1 circuit and 1 of those generators. I do have some trash on me, which I'm not sure why. Would be a good idea to get rid of some of it. Okay, so I'm gonna need redstone, lapis, and glowstone. Alright, so let's create the chipset itself. So 1, and the nuclear reactor 2. Alright, so I got my nuclear reactor, got my reactor chamber, and I think let's actually get a couple of more things before going any further. Let's get a thermometer that will let me measure the temperature of, you know, is there a different kind of thermometer? I guess it's the same thing. Basically lets me measure the temperature of a nuclear reactor, because the entire concept behind a nuclear reactor is generating energy while also generating heat, and you need to keep balancing them out. If you create too much heat, it explodes and you get big, nice holes. So let's charge that. So I got my thermometer, my reactor chamber, my nuclear reactor, and I think I'm gonna get one more thing. Alright, and the last thing I'm looking for now at least, is a thermal monitor. Now a thermal monitor, I think that's not a part of the original industrial craft, that's something added by one of those add-ons available in the Direwolf 20 pack. Unfortunately, I'm not exactly sure about the name, so I'm not sure which one is it, but if you're playing the pack, you have it, don't worry. So I'm going to need some glowstone, which I already have. I'm going to need some reinforced glass, which I'm going to need more of. So advanced alloying glass, no problem. Get some glass, and redstone, which I have, no problem. Okay. Let's first create some advanced circuits. I think I'm going to need more of those in the future, so let's just create a bunch. Yeah, I have an escaped blaze here somewhere. Yep, I'm not sure how they're escaping. I think apparently my 7x7 is still not enough for a tier 5 spawner. That's actually quite annoying. Okay, let's get rid of him. Alright, so first let's get 2 of those, or not 2, but actually 6 of those. Let's get some more reinforced glass. I will need some more advanced alloys. Okay, even a little bit too much. And let's just begin by creating a thermal monitor. Just need one, even though I can create more. Okay, so I got this. I got my thermal monitor. I got my digital thermometer. I got my advanced circuit, which I'm not sure why did I even mention. I don't really need it. And some reinforced glass. I don't need it as well, to be honest. I'm considering getting those windows. Like instead of the worded blocks, to get some windows as well. Not really needed, to be honest. Same properties as block, except they're transparent. Yep, nothing too fancy about them. Basically the same idea, just made of glass. No real point. But you know what? I will need a door. The worded door. Yep, this one I will need. Let's get one of those, which I forgot. Alright, so 6 of those ingots. It's actually quite a pricey recipe. 2 of those and this, and I will need 4 cognito in addition to everything. Let's just throw inside the book something pointless. Everything has 6, right? There is nothing without 6. Let's just get something pointless inside. And then the arcane door. I think there's a lot of experience here. A lot of experience here. Okay, let's get some enchanted done. Don't like having so much experience here. Alright, so I got everything that I need. Now let's find a place far away from here. Probably go somewhere towards this direction. Yeah, somewhere around here should be fine. In the middle of the jungle. Yeah, I think, pretty sure that's far enough. So I'm gonna set up my place here. Let's see how I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna go for I'm gonna go for a 9x9 actually. Or I don't have enough blocks for a 9x9. A 7x7 will also not be large enough. 7 by 7 gives me a hollow 5 by 5. No, I'm going to 9 by 9. And I don't think I have enough blocks. Alright, let me build this, and I'll be right back. Alright, so the room is done. I just finally decided to create some of those specific glass, the Thumbcraft glass. And I did also make one of those doors. And just need to nicely create some stairs. And I think this place is officially ready. At least it looks relatively okay. So it's a 9 by 9, a hollow 7 by 7 inside. I did have one glass up here, so I also get some sunroof. And that's also an excuse for me, because I actually didn't make enough glass, so I did make this weird shape. Alright, so the nuclear reactor will be not in the center of the room, because it will then make this hidden. Let's place it right about here. I think that's enough. So you cannot place the chamber onto anything except for a reactor block. So first you're going to have to place the block, break it, and only then place the chambers. Alright. So the reason why I brought this thing, a thermal monitor, is you can apply to any block. Shift right click. I don't really care about the temperature itself. However, I do care about something else. I'm going to add, let's say, a thumb rule of 7000. If the temperature of this thing, which right now is 0 because it's not doing anything, is above 7000, that will send a redstone signal, which I actually forgot to bring. Let me get it. One sec. Okay, so this is going to be very, very simple. I think by default, at least in the current config setup of my pack, the reactor will only work if it receives a redstone signal. So what I'm going to do is place a NOT gate facing into the reactor. Right now it doesn't do anything. It's supposedly turned on, but there is nothing happening here. And a redstone dust right here. And that's it. That's basically my foolproof system of making sure that if it overheats, it's gonna shut off. So I actually don't know if there is a way for me to test. Oh, there is. That cat just died. Alright, so the temperature is right now 0, so a thermal monitor sees that it's 0. Supposedly 0 or higher, so it's 0 right now. It sends off a redstone signal, turning off that NOT gate, turning off the reactor. So obviously I'm going to set it on 7000. So only if it reaches 700 Celsius or higher, it's going to send off a redstone signal, turning off my reactor. So no matter what I'm going to do from right here, every time it reaches a higher temperature of 7000, it's going to shut off. So that's my backdoor solution in case it's going to overheat. Alright, so for my testing, I did in a separate world. There's this very, very safe design that I'm going to try and go for. It's extremely safe, it cannot overheat. It does require maintenance over every so often. Depends obviously on how, I think every 2 hours basically, the amount of time it requires for the cells to deteriorate and be destroyed basically. So let's get started. I'm gonna need some cells. Those cells, the uranium cells. Now, in order to create them, you simply take your refined uranium, which is basically uranium ore compressed. So let's start compressing some uranium. I haven't done it so far. It's going to be very fast because I have those 10 upgrades in here, so that's very nice. In the meantime, I can also give my generators here a look, see how they're doing. Yeah, okay, so these 2 generators are now on 58 and the other ones are no longer on 64, meaning yeah, so 6 extra generators here are pretty much enough to take care of any surplus that I have. And I'm getting all those wisps all the time. I think because I'm messing too much with the flux here. But yeah. Okay, so refined uranium. I'm going to need some cells. We do have some tin here. Let's get 64 cells. There is no other use for uranium, right? Just turning them into cells. Well, this is not very interesting. And turning them into uranium block. Yep, no other use. Okay, so just turn all of them into uranium cells. Oh, they don't. Forgot about that. Okay, I'm gonna turn them into quad uranium cells though. This will be a little bit more efficient, and I can also start using those plates that I've been creating here, and I'm gonna create some more even now because I'm gonna use them. So first I'm gonna need to create these guys. So this and this, and store all of them, and then quad them. Now actually the amount that I made right now is more than enough for what I'm going to do. Let's keep two duals. Get some more of those and combine them into quads. Alright, so 2 quads, 2 duals, yeah, that's fine, no problem. I think that I can actually even go a little bit higher, but I'm gonna start with this. This is enough. Okay, so this will generate energy. Now the other part will be, how do I get rid of energy? Alright, so the next step is those guys. These 5 type of components, each and every one of them works a little bit differently. Basically are made in order to remove energy from a cell, or not a cell, but from a reactor chamber. So I'm going to create a combination of everything. There is actually a specific design that I'm working for. I'm mainly going to create the overclocked vents, which are those, and the reactor heat vents, which are those, and the component heat vents, which are those. Basically, mostly those two, and then some of those. Let's start with the component. Actually, I think I'm going to need a lot of everything anyway. Yeah, all of them are kind of part of each other. Okay, so I'm going to need a lot of heat vents, the basic ones. The advanced ones, I think, yeah, I'm not going to use the advanced ones. They're not useful for me, and they actually require diamonds, so I'm pretty glad that I don't need them. I will need a lot of heat vents, and I think the problem is that, like those, they have durability. So let's see, let's make sure. Let's get started. Anyway, I'm going to need refined iron. I'm going to create a lot of those. So I'm going to need some bars as well. Let's just create some more bars instead of starting to mess around with whether or not I have enough. And I'm also going to need a lot of more dense copper plates. So let's get some more. I'm really running out of copper, using a lot of it lately. Alright. So, not like this, but like this. Let's do just a stack. And do this. Yeah, actually switched it around. Alright, I think, yeah, they don't stack. Okay, let's start with 16. And most of them will be need to turn on into this, the component heat vents. So let's get some tin, and I will need some more bars apparently. Seems bars are a vital component in everything here. So let's get, we'll need some more tin probably. Ooh, yeah, I'm going to do this. Yep. Alright, because crafting those component vents or vent heats, basic heat vents, is quite an annoying process, I decided to do some off-screen math to make sure that I make the exact amount of everything that I need. So I'm basically going to need 23 of those component heat vents. I'm going to need 12 overclocked ones, these, and 12 reactor heat vents, those. So yeah, I'm going to need kind of a lot of things. And you know what, I think I'm going to make this off screen. This is quite boring and annoying process, which I'm simply going to do off screen. This will be a better idea. So I'll see you guys once everything is made. Alright, so I got everything that I need. I got my 12 overclocked ones, my 12 reactor heat vents, and my 23 component heat vents. Now I'm going to actually start moving them, and there is a very specific pattern of which I'm going to place them. It's not random, trust me. It's very specific. It's kind of thing that I made the research for. It's I came up with it myself. I guess I'm not the first one that came up with it. It's something very simple, but it's stable. It will never shut off. This is basically just a very foolproof thingy that will probably never be used. but yeah, just keeping it just in case. Alright, so those reactor heat vents are something that probably they're made for places where there will be no room for something else. They basically take 5 heat from the hull, basically from the thing, and dissipate them into the air. Those overclocked heat vents, they're actually the brain. They will take 36 heat from the reactor, but dissipate only 20 every tick. So I'm going to space them in a very specific pattern. You're going to understand why eventually. In the following way. You can actually already start seeing what am I doing here. Every one of them has a very specific area around it. And I'm going to place those reactor heat vents in every place where there is no room for those overclocked heat vents. Let me get the rest of the components. Alright, so I got my component heat vents. Now these go here. And why they go here? Because what they're doing is they don't take durability, but they will dissipate. Oh, by the way, I actually forgot to mention that every one of them take durability if they're placed wrong. I mean, for example, the overclocked heat vent, if it dissipates 20 from itself but takes 36 from the hull on itself, which means every tick it takes a damage of 16 heat, and over time that's basically durability if it's not done right. However, those component heat vents, those will take 4 heat, basically dissipate 4 heat from every surrounding component. So if I surround, for example, this overclocked heat vent with 4 components, it will dissipate 20 by itself and 4 from each one of those, a total of 36, which is also the 36 that he soaks from the reactor itself. So this is basically how this design is forever stable. Nothing is being used or consumed or lost to durability, because that way everything dissipates the most that it can without taking durability damage. And obviously this is also why this is a stable design that doesn't require any maintenance, because it also doesn't generate that much energy. You'll soon understand how much generating energy. This is actually very simple. Alright, I got the rest of the materials. I also brought myself an MFSU, so I have somewhere to store the energy. I'm going to place it here. Alright. So let's complete it. Again, fill the component heaters in every place that needs to be energy dissipated. And I think actually may have made an extra one. Do I have 4 around every overclocker? Yeah, seems so. Apparently I may have gotten an extra one. Never mind. Alright, those go in here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the design is fine. Alright, so this is basically all my design for dissipating energy, and the last point is right here. Whenever uranium is here and I'm generating energy, obviously, and it receives a resonance signal, obviously it's going to generate energy. Now, whenever within the nuclear reactor you're going to place uranium cells adjacent to each other, you're going to generate even more energy, but also more heat. So I'm going to actually place even those two. And now you can see everything has some durability, but it's all stable. None of them is going beyond 80 durability, because the way Minecraft ticks work and everything, you can see the amount of energy that I'm generating. And if I pull out my thermometer, you can actually see that it will slowly generate energy, because I think I may have made a mistake. Yeah, I actually want 3 dual and only 1 quad. Yeah, then it's stable. I actually made a small mistake, but this is where you can see that this will start doing its job. Let's actually bring it down beyond this, beyond 5000, which is the melting point of water, even though there is no water here, but still. You can see that the display is being changed from red to green, because every time it turns red, which means it's above 5000 degrees, it sends a resonance signal into this NOT gate, turning it off, and the reactor turns off. So you can see it dances around 5000 degrees. Now obviously, let me get my second dual cell, so it will actually be in its stable state while still generating constant amount of energy. Alright, so I brought an extra dual uranium. Let's just exchange one of the quad uraniums. And now you'll see that the temperature slowly goes down. Because at that design with 3 duals and 1 quad, I'm not generating enough heat to overcome this heat exchanging design. So I'm generating quite a lot of energy. I think most of you would not agree. I think that's around about, you know what, let's get the EU reader to be precise. Alright, so got my EU reader. Let's see how much energy is being, yeah, 220 EU per tick. Apparently I'm generating more from my geothermal generators, but geothermal generators rely on lava, which will eventually run out and concentrate to uranium, which I have a very large supply of and I'm not using for anything else except for this. And yeah, every cell I think will last for like 2 hours or 2 hours and a half or something, and then it will simply run out and you have to remove it, obviously. But of course, because of this design, this will never cause an explosion, because obviously if a cell is running out, it stops generating energy and heat. And then again, for the current design, my heat exchanging design is taking care of it. Now obviously this design is very much safe and also very much probably not as efficient as what you can do. Now the thing is that in the current version of Industrial Craft, or more specifically the Darwolf 20 pack that I'm playing on, you cannot use ice in a nuclear reactor, which is something that initially I was planning on. I was pretty much planning on using ice in my design, but apparently you cannot do that. So because of it, I came up with this, all those components and everything, which this way I can pretty much take care of it. Now obviously right now I'm storing energy into an MFSU, which goes into nowhere. But yeah, this episode has been reaching quite a good point, so this is where I'm going to conclude it. Now obviously, as I said in the beginning, this is the 50 episode, and that means that will be a world download available in the description below. And yeah, in the next episode I'm going to get into how am I going to move that energy around and also monitor some more information. But yeah, that's going to be in the next episode. So at least I'm leaving you guys with a stable version of that I've got right now. So again, as usual, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. And by the way, if you're still watching, my core is finished, and now all that remains is for the water to drain.